Well, good afternoon. Well, where we are, it's afternoon.
That's true.
Yeah, this is TSG Live Talking Trains. I'm John, your main host, I guess. Today I have Seth and Murph with me, and we're going to be talking about 2026 and what's in store for 2026. And it's kind of exciting because every year, well, for me anyway, every year the year starts, the calendar's empty, and then stuff starts filling up the calendar, and almost inevitably something will show up on the calendar where I was like, oh yeah, that's another few months, and before you know it, we're doing it. And the same thing happens. It's the end of the year and we do it all over again. So I thought it would be kind of cool to have some people on to talk about their organizations or their events. Seth has some stuff happening with MRCS. Murph has some stuff happening with his layout. Of course, I have some stuff happening here with the channel. I kind of previewed some of that stuff on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail, I think, this year. I mean, this year, today. And so with that, thanks, guys, for coming. And I guess we can get started. And we're going to first talk about, if I can bring it up here, the Layout Design and Operations Weekend. And this is happening just in about, 10 days or so. And for that, well, Seth and I are involved with the planning committee, but we're going to have someone else that you'd probably rather hear from talk about that. And here she is, the top secret planner.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Nice to see everybody. And thanks for giving us some space here to talk about the PCR, Layout Design and Operations Weekend. So that's coming up pretty quick.
Let me cut in for a second. I want to make sure that the viewers know that if they have any questions about anything that we talk about during these segments, type them in the live chat on the side of the screen there, and we'll try to answer. If we have the answers, we will certainly do that. Sorry, please proceed.
Yeah. So this event is a great event about obviously layout design and operations, and it's an event in the Bay Area that's a great one because it's where newer operators can come and get some experience operating on people's layouts. And then for those of you that are out there in the world beyond the Bay Area, we do offer a virtual version of this event. So our clinic day, we do offer clinics on operations, layout design, specific layouts, and the story of how they were designed and built. We have a layout design challenge, which this year is designing an ops-based layout based on the SP's former San Jose Roundhouse and engine servicing facility at Lenzen Avenue, which is kind of fun to have a local. We travel around the Bay Area when we have this event every year. And so we try to find design challenges that kind of maybe reflect those areas. And so we have that this year. So that's just like a little, like if you like layout design, but you can't keep building a layout over and over in your house, you can enjoy layout design this way by kind of challenging yourself to put together a layout. So we have that going as well. And then free layout design consults, which I will actually participate in this year for the first time. So I hope to give feedback next time.
I'm excited about it. And I want to reiterate something because I was on Facebook recently and someone was asking a layout design question. And I said, well, why don't you just attend the Layout Design and Operations Weekend? And I went on to describe what it is and where it is and all that, and the fact that it's also virtual. And people responded saying, he's in Australia. Like, right, I know that. It's virtual. So if he has an internet connection, it doesn't matter where you are, you can still attend our clinic day.
Well, maybe we need to explain what the virtual option is explicitly, which just means you get a Zoom link and you're in the room with us watching and participating with the clinics and asking questions and stuff. So it's the Zoom that we're all familiar with, and it gets you there and gets you to some content and gets you with a group of people online as well. We have quite a few people. I saw our registration list that are some great modelers that are going to be there at the virtual event. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, there's more, which is this person in Australia wants a layout design consultation. Well, you can get that as part of your attendance. And so
Yeah.
my point is that people need to realize that the virtual event can be attended from anywhere in the world. All you need is an internet connection. And here's something that's even cooler, which is if you can't come on the day of, it's okay, because we're going to have all the clinics available for like a month after the event. So if you miss something, you can watch it at your own leisure.
Yeah.
So
and they'll do the layout design consults virtually as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great opportunity for it's a really we keep the price really low on this event because we want people to be able to attend it both in person and virtually. So it's a great, great bang for the buck. So register now because the event's coming up, and I hope to see you there. I'll be your virtual host and hope to see you there.
Yeah. And we're going to bring you back in a minute, but we need to bring someone else on first. Are you done talking about this for now?
I am.
Okay. We'll say goodbye to you. And let's say hello to Rod. Hey, like there are other husbands out there going, boy, I wish I could do that. Right.
No comment.
Right. That's a smart thing. You are a smart person to not do that. We're going to bring on Rod now, Rod Jensen, who's working on O-Scale West, which is coming up. Actually, the weekend after, or actually, it's the month after the event we just talked about. Hi, Rod. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. What's exciting with O-Scale West?
Well, we've got a new venue for one. We're going to be at the Portuguese Hall in Mountain View. That's about a half mile from the Mountain View Transit Center, so you can take Caltrain or light rail over there. We've got quite a schedule. Thanks to you, John. On our website, we have the video you took last year with the interviews. So there's a link on the homepage for that. And this is where I recommend everything I'm going to present today. By clicking the radio buttons on this homepage, you can get the schedule, all the clinics, the times are up there, the layouts that are confirmed will be shown. So we're looking for a really good meet. So let me talk a little bit about each piece of it, so you can go on to the next slide there.
Okay, let's try doing that then.
So a big part of O-Scale West is our swap meet, and a lot of people don't know this, but O-Scale West is the largest meet west of the Mississippi, and it's O-Scale, S-Scale, and all scales of narrow gauge.
Nice.
And so vendors will be setting up in the morning of Friday the 6th, and the show will officially open at 1 o'clock. And then we're going to take it'll be 3 hours open. I'm going to take a 2-hour dinner break, and then we'll reopen from 6 to 9. Saturday's hours will be 9 to 4. And something new this year, John, All Nation line is going to have specials, and people can get these on the internet. And that's first time they're going to try this. We'll have QR codes there, so even if someone doesn't attend in person, they can participate with these special O-Scale West deals.
I have a question. What's an All Nation line?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a manufacturer of O-Scale products.
Oh, okay.
Locomotives, cars, all types. Yeah. If you go to their website, you can see. And so those will be available during the show, special pricing. Okay, next slide.
Okay.
We always have a favorite model contest. It's real simple. The entry forms on the website, just click onto the contest page. The various categories you see there on the screen. So if you've got something, you don't even have to enter it. If you just like to display something. Last year, I just displayed some newspaper articles back from the 60s regarding railroads. So we're pretty open for And again, it's a popular vote contest. Okay, next slide. And a big part is clinics, and we've got 7 on tap. A tie-in to the your layout design, Dave Adams will be presenting a clinic on the lens and roundhouse with a lot of Jim Holmes original photos. That'll be cool. Starting in the afternoon, Friday. Yeah, and then following that, we have a clinic on 3D printing and CAD. Darby Johnson's putting that one on. And then in the evening, Friday night, Phil Edholm is going to do a clinic on building a module, either for your own home or one that can connect to other layouts. And then we end the evening with a slide presentation on various photo fan trips, and that one is from Ed Marsh. Saturday's schedule has a clinic, Rod Miller, on converting MTH and Lionel O-scale 3-rail to 2-rail scale. That should be interesting. And then a clinic from Dick Stark on landscape backdrops. And then we close the day out with a real neat clinic by Bernard Helen of mini prints on painting 3D figures. So quite a lineup.
Yeah, all Bernard's right, not actually. Yeah, hold on, Rod. I have a question. Well, first of all, there's a question on the screen asking if it's strictly O scale, which you've already answered. It's all scales and narrow gauge, right? Pretty much. But how did you put that?
OS and all scales. Yeah, OS and all scales of narrow gauge. Okay. And this year we'll have some 3-rail stuff too. So okay, cool. Let's do the next slide.
Yeah. The other question I had was, Bernard going to be here in person? I hadn't heard that he's coming out here.
No, we're going to do it virtually.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We have a couple. We have a couple of the clinics will be virtual. So we've got a great lineup of home and club layouts. Just some real world-class stuff. Jack Burgess, I believe this might be the last time to see his layout, because I think pieces of it are scheduled to go up to the Sacramento Museum. And we've tried to kind of do the layouts by areas. So like on Saturday, I think we've got 4 layouts in the Santa Cruz area. So you can, if you plan your day, you can hit quite a few. John LaBarba's actually got 2 layouts. He's got a outdoor layout and an inside layout. So all these, the times and photos and sometimes links, like Dave Lovelace is going to be open in Watsonville. There's links there to his layout, so you can kind of figure out what you want to do and when you want to do it. All right, next slide. And if you don't want to travel out, we're going to have 4 on-site layouts, beginning with Michael Elridge and the Bay Area S-scalers. That's I believe that layout is based on the John Allen's Time Saver, and they love to just put a throttle in a kid's hand and let them do some switching, which is really cool. And then Dwayne Erickson, you may have seen his layout in Model Railroad. It's going to be featured in the Gazette coming up. That's ON30 SP narrow gauge. And then the Central Coast, California Central Coast group is going to have their modular layout in attendance. And we'll have one other layout, which is the Lionel group, the Golden Gate group. So quite a few on-site layouts. So that'll be nice to see. Next slide. And here's basically the bottom line. We've tried to use that term affordability. We've reduced the prices. So Friday and Saturday is $35. That includes yourself, your spouse or significant other, and your kids, 18 and under, all included. If you want to just come on Saturday, the fee's $25. You could just do that as a walk-up. And again, your spouse and kids are included in that. That's a pretty good deal. If you'd like to sell something, as a vendor, or if you just got stuff to sell, it's $50, and then the tables are $50 each. Everything I've talked about is right on the website oscalewest.com. There's a link there to get more info. You can click that. We even have a phone number. You could, if you want to go old school, and call us. So anyway, we look forward to seeing folks come on out March 6th and 7th at the Portuguese Hall in Mountain View.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and that's actually a really nice venue. I've been to a toy train show at that same place. It's a nice big room that holds a lot of stuff. So cool. Thanks, Rod. I think we'll be looking forward to that. Cool. Thank you for coming.
All right.
We're going to move on to our next one. So
all right.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. And hopefully we'll see you at O-Scale West.
Thank you. We'll see you there.
All right. Now we're going to bring back our super secret person to talk about the next thing on that list, which is right here.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That O-Scale West sounds great.
Yep.
That'll be exciting. So I'm here again to talk to you guys about the South Bay Historical Railroad Society's one of our open house, the spring open house. And we have 2 of these a year. It is a time when we actually open up our interlocking tower for tours, our rail car for tours, and you can see the rest of the museum and have a lot of things like our trains are running on the layouts. And the big deal is that we have our company store where we sell used model railroading equipment and souvenirs, tools, modeling supplies, all kinds of stuff. It's people make this trip just to scope out and shop at our used equipment sale. So it's definitely a reason to get in to see us either at our spring open house or our fall open house in November. So it's coming up here April 11th and 12th, and that's a Saturday and Sunday, and pretty much all day, both days. If you want to stay apprised of our activities there, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram or go to our website. And I hope those of you who are kind of the outer reaches of the Bay Area consider, maybe ride the train in. We're right there at the Santa Clara Depot. You can ride transportation in and spend the day with us, at least one day.
No, just sleep over.
Yeah, right.
I think there's space underneath the rail car. You could just.
You might need a rolly cart for all of the things you're going to buy at our company store to get home. So
yeah. Something else worth mentioning, I think, is that at the company store, it's not all used stuff. Sometimes they'll have what's referred to as, old new stock or new old stock, where it's something like kits that have never even been opened.
True.
And,
yeah. Structure kits or people's models that they've bought and they've never used. They just had them in the box.
Well, everybody with the layout has, under the layout, if you lift the skirt, I know you don't have this. I'm pretty sure you don't have this either, Murph, but
I don't have a skirt.
Oh, see, so it's just out in the open at Murph's layout.
Yeah.
But it's just
Goes
boxes,
commando.
boxes and boxes of kits and stuff that never got built because I'll get around to that someday.
I call that the Model Railroad Control Systems Global Fulfillment Center.
Yeah, I call it the pile of shame.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that our
when you said pile of I thought it was going to be something
that
else.
was going somewhere else.
I wanted to point out one more thing, that the used equipment at our company store is a great place to find those equipment that you can practice your
Weathering skills.
modeling on, fixing up cars, weathering and detailing. It's also a great place to start buying some equipment for the young people in your life, whether that's young kids or grandkids who are interested in trains, but you're not sure how long they'll be interested in trains. You can get them started with their own equipment pretty cheaply. So another great reason to visit.
Another name for it, Falkenberg's wife, Michelle, referred to his as the tariff-proof hobby shop.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess if you've already bought it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think I should put the used equipment under that category.
There you go.
Yeah, that would work. Okay, well, thanks for that. And that's always a good event. So anyway, all right, we'll see you later. And I'm going to do it again. Watch this. And she's John, just like that. Anyway, we have now another event that's one that I always look forward to every year. And let me just bring up the picture. Well, actually, let me just bring Joe on first. And we're going to have Joe to talk about this, but we're also going to bring up Scott now because Scott is sort of a tangent to this event, and we'll explain that. Hello, Scott, and hello, Joe. So for those of you who don't know, Joe Piazza runs the West Side Reunion that happens. It's an annual event up in, it's been in Tuolumne for the past couple of years. And Scott is what are you, Scott, the general manager at the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine?
That is correct. Yeah.
General manager. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't I bring up the slides that we have about this? And Joe, you're really on first for this reason. Go for it.
Okay. So both the Sierra Seminar and the West Side Reunion have been going on for a long time. I believe the first West Side Reunion was in 1986. I think there was a couple years off for COVID. I'm the third owner of this. Frank Markovich would have been on this channel, right, to promote that, but he finally succeeded in giving this to me. So we've kind of relaunched the event and made it not two separate events, but like a full weekend type event. And we've rechristened it as the Tuolumne Railroad Weekend. There were people wanted something on Friday, so now we're actually giving it to them. We now have a steam excursion. Now that Sierra number 3 has been restored, we're going to have a steam excursion on Friday afternoon, April 17th at the Railtown 1897. We'll have some snacks, drinks, some special tours, and some special behind the scenes access at Railtown, and then we'll have the actual excursion starting around 6:30 to around 8 o'clock, and you get back in time to get some dinner. So that's kind of the kickoff for the weekend. And then on Saturday, we'll have the West Side Reunion, which will be at the, as we've had it for the last 2 years, at the Black Oak Resort Hotel in Tuolumne, California. The event features both prototype and modeling clinics. We have model contest. We have vendors and estate sales. The lineup this year for clinics is we have Guy Cantwell is going to do a modeling structures, the West Side Edition version. Then we have a West Side Lumber in Color by Scott Inman. We have a presentation by Dave Peterson about the Madera Sugar Pine. And then we're ending it with a reunion special presentation by Adam Weidenbach and myself. Adam is also co-hosting the West Side Reunion, where we're going to talk about Jack Sullivan, who just turned 100, and he was a fireman on the West Side, and his dad was Ed Sullivan, who ran the Roundhouse and also was an engineer. So pretty much their family spanned the entire, history of the West Side. So that'll be kind of an interesting, and we may have a special guest. I'm not sure yet. So that's the West Side Reunion. Then following that, the THRA is sponsoring their banquet, which this is the third iteration of that. So we have a buffet dinner, which will include a choice of steak or chicken and salad, as well as a side. We're going to have a cash bar. And then the presenter for this year will be Brian Wise, who is going to present about the Sugar Pine Railway from 1903 to 1974. He and his father have been studying that railroad since the 70s, and he has been the GMO of the Mount Rainier Scenic Railway. So there'll be a lot of interesting conversation there. There's also some great prizes, which I think related to Scott here. We have in the raffle, we have, as we had last year, there's the 2027 Railroad Weekend, which gives you all the events for free, including lodging at the Black Oak Casino Hotel. So that's one item. And then the second one is the 2 cab rides at the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine. My friend Adam actually won that a couple years ago, and Scott was an amazing host. We got to see every inch of the property, and riding, number 10 up and down the hill was quite an event of a lifetime. So those are some great prizes if you choose to get some raffle tickets for that. And then on Sunday, we finished up with the Sierra seminar, which includes presentations. They haven't posted what presentations they're having yet, but they have a show and tell section as well as a swap meet. And as far as the rooms are concerned, we had only 7 rooms left out of our convention block. They've extended it to 12, but they're going fast. So if you're interested in the event, grab your rooms as soon as possible. And the registration is all integrated on that. We have an all-in-one registration where you can register for all these events at tuolumnerailroad.org. So that's a big change for this year.
Can I interject real quick? We've covered both of these events now for the past, 4 or 5 years, and including the banquets, right? Scott actually was the first one. He did a really cool presentation about the Shays up at Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine. But just so people are clear about this, if you haven't seen the segments I've done, either the podcast segment or the standalone segments on these 2 events, there's a room that has all the clinic content, and the clinics are really top notch. I mean, this is like really good clinics, and there's some really amazing modeling and how-to stuff in the clinics, but the room adjacent to the clinics has a whole bunch of other stuff. So for West Side Reunion, which is on Saturday, there are vendors in there selling stuff. As a matter of fact, I got a copy of the Yosemite Trains to Yosemite, Jack Burgess's famous book, for $40. I think the person who sold it to me didn't really understand what it was, because they sell online for like $150 if you can find one. And, so they sell a bunch of different stuff. Joe, actually, you've sold your 3D printed Peterbilts there, which have been on this channel a couple of times at least. And then there's on the Sierra seminar day, it's not so much selling as much as it is showing. And there is a lot of really amazing modeling that people do, that they bring up. A lot of the people that bring models to these shows are these narrow gaugers. And I don't know about where you live, wherever you're watching this, but where I live, the narrow gaugers tend to be like the most detailed, I think, modelers. And I don't know if that's because they're accustomed to have to build everything themselves, so they really geek out on the detail. But the modeling to be seen at this weekend is just amazing. So if you're looking for information, go. If you're looking for inspiration, go, because you'll find both there. Just thought I wanted to mention that. So
thanks. Yeah, the model contest was really top notch last year, and hopefully even more people will come. And we've also redesigned the awards, so it's another incentive to bring the models. I mean, there's just some great modeling out there.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have Scott sitting here at the bottom looking like he's just waiting to tell us about something. So maybe we should see if we can figure out what he's here to talk about. Let's see. Oh, what's this? That looks like a Shay.
If you've been, under a rock and you haven't seen Facebook today, then you'll be surprised. But I posted 7 hours ago that we are acquiring West Side Locomotive number 12.
We being the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine, right?
You got it. Yeah. And it doesn't look like that now. That's what it looked like back in 2009. It's a little tired, but we're going to do a full restoration on the locomotive and get it running. We did a hydrostatic test yesterday, and it passed its hydro. So the boiler will hold pressure and make steam, and so it's very exciting. It'll look a lot like this for us, although it'll say Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railroad on it, but it'll have the West Side 12 on it, and it'll have the West Side Red, and it'll be beautiful. We're really excited to bring a third locomotive into the stable, at our railroad.
Cool. That's really cool. Is there a timeline or a guesstimation about when you think you'll have the thing ready to go?
So, we have a timeline, but I've been in this business long enough that the real timeline is owned by the 12.
Yeah.
And she will let us know when it's ready. There's some obvious things that need to be repaired on the locomotive that we're going to be addressing. And we have 2 other shays that we're currently taking care of. We're right in the middle of actually drawing into completion a complete rebuild of the engine on the 15, which is new pistons, new rings, new rods, redesigned all of the slippers and valve guides and everything on that locomotive. Hopefully for testing, fairly soon. The goal is to have the 15 ready by the start of our season on March 28th. The 10 was going to get some heavy winter maintenance this winter. We were going to replace the crankshaft, the line shaft, the line shafts. There's 3 on this. There's 3 on a 3-truck shay. All the pinions and all the ring gears on the 10. And then this 60-ton opportunity came along, right in the midst of planning all of that. So the heavy work on the 10 has kind of been put back on a back burner to late summer, winter type of thing schedule. And the goal is now to get the minor things that we need to get done on the 10. Obviously, we go through all of the bearings and the line shafts, repacking all the valves, all of that kind of preventative maintenance that we do in the off season. We're doing all of that. We're also rebuilding the throttle stand, the throttle, and repairing a crack in the firebox door.
Oh, wow.
But the goal is to get the 15 running by the start of the season. If the 10 is also ready at the start of the season, then we'll have 2 steam locomotives ready at the beginning of our season. And for a steam railroad that advertises steam trains, it's our goal to run 100% steam every single day that we're in operation. And I can tell you from experience that is a challenge to meet that goal. Last year, the entire month of April, we were diesel only, and it was against our choice. And we got it by our fans, by not running a steam locomotive. And but it was the 10 wasn't ready, and the 15 wasn't ready, and it's just the way it was. And so, by acquiring a third locomotive, it literally will assure everybody that we will get at least one of them running every single day of the year. And
okay, I'm going to write that down. Hold on.
You can write it down all you want. It's again, those locomotives have their own agenda. But what having 3 locomotives does for us is it, one, extends the life of the 10 and the 15. The 15 is over 100 years old. The 10 is coming up on its 100th birthday. The 12 turns 100 in 2 months. And they're every year, they just keep getting older. And, we are open 7 days a week. We're running trains up and down the hill. We had over 100,000 people ride the train last year. And having a rotation with the locomotives extends the life on all of them. But it also allows us to do heavy maintenance during the season. And that's something that we've never done before because of the ability to take an engine out of service and do work on it is just hard to do when you're trying to keep a schedule. And so the addition of the 12, I have 9 cats, and you are absolutely correct. But it's the Georgetown Loop. The operator, had to moved the engines out in 2004, and they've been at the Colorado Railroad Museum ever since 2004. Ever since this engine left, we've had our eye on this locomotive, and it's kind of like what is that quote from Shawshank Redemption? Patience and time. Eventually it's going to get to the point where, we had an unbelievable opportunity, and it was almost too good to be true. And we just wanted to truck it on over and start tearing it down and getting it running again. And for me to sleep better and for my shop manager to sleep better at night, we had to know if it was worth the endeavor. And so we went out to Colorado, and we did the hydro yesterday, and it passed the hydro. And so we spent the rest of the day prepping the locomotive. If you look at the engine as in this picture right here, you can see that the exhaust for the dynamo next to the cab sticks up over the top of the cab, and that there's 2 whistles on it, and all of those appliances stick up higher than the cab. The cab roof is 13 feet to the top of the railhead, and we have a clearance of 16 feet at the railroad. So everything that sticks up over that roof line had to be removed. So all of that stuff was done. But we also had to separate the tender from the engine and the coupling rings and the brake rigging. And we also removed anything off the locomotive that might be removed during shipment. And so it was a project to get all of that done, but it's ready to move now. And by this time next month, we should have the engine on property.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Yeah.
It's coming.
I have a question for you, Scott.
You can have all the questions in the world as long as they are legitimate.
Yeah, no. It's a legit. Well, I hope it's a legitimate question. I'm just curious because I've seen the 15, and the 12 to me looks a lot like the 15. The 15 is superheated. The 12 superheated, right? Aren't they both superheated?
The 15 is not superheated.
Which one of the ones that up there is superheated? The 10 is superheated?
The 10 superheated.
Oh, I thought the 15 was the superheated ones. But where does 12 how does 12 compare to the 2 that are up there? Because the 10 is the big one, right?
It's a great question. It's depending on who you ask. And there was a gentleman at the West Side reunion a couple years ago that had very detailed records of the West Side. I would love to get in contact with him again because depending on what resource you are, the 12 is anywhere between 113,000 pounds and 133,000 pounds. Roughly about 60 to 70 tons, either light or with water and fuel. Those numbers are important because when you ship it, they got to know exactly how much it weighs. Mm-hmm. But what we don't know is we don't know how much, the 2 trucks and the locomotive is and the tender. I can tell you this, that the 12 and the 15 are within a foot of length of each other.
Okay.
So they're very similar in size and very similar in weight. I think the 15 is slightly lighter by about 5 tons than the 12. What the 12 is going to make up for is being superheated. It's going to be a much more efficient locomotive and have more tractive effort.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be more like the 10, I guess, but just smaller.
Yeah, and I love to have a pulling contest with the 2 of them to see if it can have the pulling power of the 10. But we think it'll be up there with the 10. As far as our equipment goes, we have 9 cars that are available, and this last winter we finished a 10th car. So if you've been up to the railroad and you see the pile of West Side skeleton number 132 that's just been pieces, I always told the modeling people it's in kit form. It just needs to be put back together. Well, it's now back together. So now we have a 10th car to run with. And for the West Side fans, 132 is very, very significant in West Side history. The point I mentioned about the cars, the 10 could carry all 10 cars, the 12 dead in tow, the 15 dead in tow, and the diesel dead in tow, and not even flinch. Mm-hmm. Whereas the 15 is probably about a 7-car train. We have taken an 8th-car train with the 15 before, and it can handle it, but we don't like to push the 112-year-old locomotive that much. We do feel by rebuilding the engine on the 15 that we might be able to handle the 8-car train without any problem. But the goal wasn't to rebuild the engine so it can handle the 8-car train. It was to rebuild the engine because the engine needed to be rebuilt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, this is exciting. I'm really looking forward to coming out there. It'll be a great excuse to come see the 12 run. I don't think I've seen it run since isn't that the one that was at Georgetown Loop? I think it pulled me back in 94 or 90, sometime in the 90s.
Yeah, it ran the loop. It was their primary Shea locomotive. They had the 12 and the 14. They had the 8, the loop also, but the 8 was kind of retired years before the Shays left the loop.
Nice.
But the interesting thing on the history of the 12 is that the 12, the Oregon Lumber Company engine that's over at the Hesston Steam Museum, and the Madera Sugar Pine number 6 are very similar locomotives. So even though it's not a Madera Sugar Pine locomotive, it's very similar to an engine that ran up in our area. So from a historical standpoint, if you squint and put a diamond stack on it, it's the number 6, from
Okay.
Madera.
Cool. Well, that's exciting news. Thank you for
and just to let you know, the diamond stack is never going on this locomotive. It's staying like you see it right now.
Does that have to do like with the other one where the efficiency would go to?
It would, yeah. The efficiency would suffer by having the diamond stack on there. It's a neat aesthetic, but it's not engineered to have a diamond stack.
Right. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And Joe, thank you very much for the update on the Tuolumne Railroad weekend. Did I get it right that time? I've been calling it the wrong thing all day.
You have, but you got it right this time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to our next thing here. Let me just do some maneuvering with the people. Thanks, Scott. I'll talk to you later. Thank you, Joe. We'll talk to you later, too. And if I can just figure out how to work my computer, we'll make that go away, too. And now, if I remember right, let me check on my notes here. Yes. We're going to bring in Mike Cohen from the Western Pacific Railroad Museum up in Portola, because they have some really cool stuff going on as well. Hey, there he is. Hi, Mike. How are you doing? Uh-oh. Is Mike watching us on YouTube maybe and he got lost? Oh, he can't hear us. That's interesting. I hope everybody else can hear us. Well, maybe Mike can try to log out and log back in. I'll give him a text message offline here. And what we'll do is, Seth, maybe you can talk about what's coming up with MRCS, or
Sure.
you have some stuff going on with your layout or whatever.
Oh yeah, we can free associate for a while.
Yeah, let's do that because we're having a technical problem.
Okay. Well, let's see. What have we got? Well, first of all, for MRCS customers, big news is we finally got through the logistical backups of bringing product in from Europe. And yesterday we received, I think, 31 cases of MTB switch motors. So if you have a switch motor on back order with me, it either went out this morning or go out tomorrow morning. That's good news. And if you've been thinking about, trying an MTB, an MP, or DP type motor, everything's in stock today. Some of them are kind of low stock, but we do have everything right now. And I think we have cracked the code on how to bring things in from the Czech Republic.
You're going to bring broken stuff in?
We're going to bring broken stuff in. It's pre-broken. Yeah. You don't have to do that yourself. We'll do it for you. Anyway, we've cracked the code. We know how to get the stuff in. It's less expensive than we had feared. So, we'll probably be making some pricing adjustments to reflect that. Anyway, we're very, very happy about that. It's a great relief. One thing I will be doing in the next few months, probably once the SIG meet is done and I've gotten past those responsibilities, is to update all of the documentation. And I'll probably come back to John and maybe we'll do a spotlight on the DP, the DCC series motors, which I don't think we've done comprehensively at this point. So that's pretty exciting for MRCS, because that's been a big part of the business. And more importantly, it's something that the rest of my product line is fairly tweaky, do-it-yourself kind of people, signaling systems, model railroad phone systems, a little bit on the obscure operations fanatic end. Whereas motors are something that, many people use, even layouts that are primarily manual. You've always got some switch that's inaccessible and you need a switch motor. And, ours are wonderful for putting in hard to reach places, because they're small and they're thin, and you can mount them topside and you can mount them under thin decks, and yada, yada, yada. Big, long benefit statement. But
yeah, probably should mention that though, that we've done a couple of videos, or maybe even a few videos over the years, as you continue to add to that MP switch motor line. So if you're interested, people watching, in seeing more about what Seth is talking about, these MP motors, search for, I don't remember what I called it, but it's here on the channel.
oh,
And
super. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's you may even search for tortoise, because I think I used tortoise in the name so people would find it when they search for tortoises.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well,
So-
because they're a good alternative for
Yes,
for
absolutely.
tortoises, right? Yeah.
I've put in a number of them on my layout, and mostly because my upper level has a very shallow fascia on it, because I didn't want to use the vertical clearance and lose sight on the bottom, or I didn't want to have to go too much higher on my upper level. And so they're a nice low profile.
Mhm.
They include the functions of an NCE switch it right on the tortoise motor itself. They have really easy to seat wire connections, where you push a button in, you shove the wire in, and it's connected. So you directly connect your DCC bus into it. And then it also functions for doing the frog
Switching. Yeah.
routing power. Yeah. And so it's really a handy design, and it has exactly the same footprint as a tortoise would.
Yeah, but whereas a tortoise is like that tall,
Yeah.
these things are like, what, an inch or something?
Yeah.
Oh, less.
It's
Yeah.
probably in centimeters, right?
Yeah.
Well, 20 millimeters on the what, 8s and 10s and or 4s and 10 series, and it's like 15 or 14 on the 1 series. So there's a whole bunch, and I've got a little presentation on which one to choose and so forth. So we'll have a little more for you, but basically, trying to update the documentation to represent a wider product line. We don't have anything in the next 6 months that's new in that product line that I'm aware of. But every so often I open the shipment and there's something we didn't think about. And, people always seem to want them. So that's really good. As I say, the main thing is that I think availability is going to be better. And I've been really making an effort to stock a quarter's worth of volume, so that when we have surges and when we have supply interruptions, we don't have people waiting for a long time. So that, I feel is important to serving customers. What else are we doing? We got a couple of little widgets in the Arduinos for Operations product line that I think are pretty cool. One of them, particularly for Southern Pacific modelers, is a spring switch simulator, and that's important because SP used them a lot on mainline sidings. And the idea is you have a train waiting for another train at a meet at the end of the siding, and you don't want to have a crew member get down and throw the switch, and you don't want to wait for the crew member to walk back to the engine before you can leave. And then, of course, you've got to restore it to normal when you've left. So what a spring switch says is you can come out of the switch, trail across the points, and the switch will automatically move. And in the real world, this was essentially done with a spring mechanism, and it would kind of pop back when the train had gone by. And that saved a lot of labor and time for the brakeman. So ours depends on an optical detector. You come up to the end of the siding. If nobody's coming, the switch will throw for you, and you can go out. And then once you've gone, it closes up behind you. So that's been a kit I have built a circuit board to reduce the component count and make it easier to install and reduce the cost. And it'll be coming out in a couple of stages, but I expect to actually ship some beta product for it to a person who's attending the SIG meet in 2 weeks. So I'm excited about that one. And then the other one is for our friend Dave Lovelace, and Dave and his crew have been up here before. When we run timetable and train order operations on Dave's layout, we try to insert a little extra running time for timetable and train order to kind of make the timings work out more like the prototypical schedule. And at this point, we've done it by the crew comes out and stops, and they take a little egg timer, a little hourglass sand timer, and wait for the thing to run. And of course, in 3 minutes, they're well engaged in a conversation with whoever's in the aisle next to them, and one thing another. And when they start moving again, generally the dispatcher or the operators have no idea what they're doing until the train actually shows up. We are developing a product which essentially is a couple of optical sensors. So when a train comes up to the point where they should be stopping and waiting, it actually starts an electronic timer with a little display.
That's easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. After how many cups of coffee here? And so you'll have a little timer there so you can watch it counting down, and typically from 3 minutes. And then it'll ding or buzz to tell the crew, it's probably time to stop what you're doing and get back to running your train. And optionally, it can also alert the operator at the next station. So those are a couple of projects we're working on, and those will probably appear on the website sometime in the next few months. And what else? Just some estate stuff, used product, but again, not subject to tariffs. In many cases, very, very good quality stuff. We've got some signals, a lot of power distribution equipment, and I'll be putting that up on the website from time to time. So, check in, take a look.
I mean, if you have any really significant announcements, you can always come on here and talk about
Absolutely.
them. So,
yeah, whenever we have something.
Where
good.
he lives.
Yeah, yeah, he does. Well, whenever Class 1 Model Works comes up with something, we'll probably get together and try it out on the layout and see.
That was something else. It's funny. We're sitting here a month ago or whenever that was, when you guys were here last time for the Talking Trains show. We also recorded for that Class 1 Model Works auto racks video. That was a lot of fun doing it with, because what's been happening is, for some reason, whenever Class 1 sends me something, I have to go to this guy's house for something that's not related. So I bring that with us, and we just do it there. But last time we were doing Talking Trains, and I had some Class 1 stuff, so we got Murphy in on it too. And I had a lot more fun having both of you guys here. So we should try to do that sometime.
Well, it's always fun, and there's not, they do great modern equipment, and Murph and I think, are really the only guys locally who do modern stuff.
Yeah.
Jim does, though. Radke does a modern.
Yeah, Radke's pretty modern. That's true. And
I'm seeing a few more modern things at SVL, but right now their idea of modern seems to be mid-90s.
Yeah,
yeah. Compared to what the alternative is, 50s, I guess, for the transition.
Well, we have sessions, Fortin and Providenza doing mid-70s, so we're not completely stuck in the steam era.
So were you able to run those auto racks around your layout at all?
Well, it goes through the tunnel, but it's corrugated on top, so it kind of goes bzz, 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 bzz. So
kind of like having baseball cards in the spokes.
Just like that. Just like that. So, the prototype notches the tunnels. If you've ever modeled the BN side of the Columbia Gorge, every one of those tunnels has little corners notched in so that they can get the Roosevelt trash train through. And I'm going to have to expand my notches a little bit, but
Are you going to do the squared off
thing?
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so new developments, let me know. We'll talk about them. I think Mike is back.
Did we get Mike?
I think we got
Let's
Mike
try
back.
Mike.
Oh,
Let's
that's
give him
great.
a try.
Yeah, let's hear what the
Is
museum
Mike's
is up
mic
to.
working?
He's saying that he can hear us now. Watch, we won't be able to hear him.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
you messed-
Oh, sorry.
we're gonna mess with him. Well, two of us are. Yeah, two of us are smart asses anyway. Murph had to be honest
I'm
about it.
tired. My back doesn't work right. Those kind of things. So, yeah.
That means Murph is 1 out of 3.
That's right.
Anyway,
So how are you guys?
yeah, plug it away.
Plugging away? Yeah, I wish I could have heard. Actually, I had to turn on YouTube on my phone, but there's about a 30-second delay. So I'm sort of sitting here listening and going, okay, I'm coming up pretty soon. But yes, I could not hear you guys through the main channel or whatever it is. But now we're all good.
Yeah, so strange. It seems good now. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good for
Great.
him.
Well,
Good for us.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good that we can hear you.
Yes.
If you can hear us, that may or may not be good. Depends how desperate you
Yeah,
are.
it did really. It really.
Hey, at
depends.
least we're not singing. If we
Oh,
were
God,
singing,
no.
it would
Please,
be
please
worse.
don't.
That would be bad.
Spare me. Spare me.
Yeah, but we have a baritone here.
Yeah, well, my wife is a professional theater actress and singer, and if she heard you, I don't know, she'd probably run screaming for the exits. Actually, she's upstairs, so she can't hear you. So anyway,
She said she had a hip replacement, so she's not running anywhere.
oh no, she's not running anywhere, but she's getting around. It's amazing. 1 week after the surgery, and she is moving around, not
Good.
quickly, but she's moving around pretty well. So I'm
Depends what you
impressed.
say, Mike.
What's that?
If you say the wrong thing, you might find out how fast she can move because she's going to come give you.
Well, she's about to move from the walkers to the cane, and then she can,
Yeah.
Oh, she can hit you
Yeah,
with the cane,
yeah,
throwing the
exactly.
walker at you. Yeah,
that too. Yeah.
but we're here to talk about the Western Pacific Museum.
Indeed,
And-
we are. And
Yeah.
for those it says in the little label right down at the bottom of my screen, Director, Western Pacific Railway Museum, or WPRM.
So that means you're in the parking lot giving directions, right? Telling people
That's
to park.
pretty much like at the Santa trains. I was in the little shack at the gate, and collecting money as people came in, and waving them goodbye as they left, and saying thank you so much. And it was actually a lot of fun. I loved the Santa trains. It was one of the first times I had really worked an event at the museum, and some people who were watching the podcast saw the video I shot of the Santa train, and the best part of it was the kids. I mean, the kids were so excited, to be there. And when I shot the video, there's kids on the Missouri Pacific transfer caboose that has the big platforms, and they're out there, and it was cold and kind of wet and damp and rainy. They're out there, big smiles, they're waving Merry Christmas. Oh, it just made volunteering and all the other humdrum mundane stuff that I have to do worth every second. That just really makes you happy to see all the kids excited. And
Well, maybe we should mention that. I mean, because Portola is kind of out there, and you do have to get volunteers. And
absolutely.
what you just described, Mike, I think is probably one of, if not the most rewarding things about volunteering at one of those places is the kids. You can see all the smiles that your efforts bring to people. And I mean, we see that at the South Bay Historical Railroad Society too.
Oh, absolutely. And we do the pumpkin trains around Halloween, and we do the Santa trains. And I got to work both this year. And actually, this coming weekend, I'm going up to actually train as a brakeman so that I can actually work the train itself and not just, smile and wave, thank you for coming. I'll actually get to work the train. And it's all worth it. It really is. And there is nothing like working with the real thing. And, you can see in the background, I'm an avid modeler. I've got a pretty large HO layout that I'm working on. And that has a great social aspect as well. but there is absolutely nothing like seeing the excitement on people's faces. And it really conjures up what I remember feeling when I was a little kid. I grew up near the Santa Fe Berkeley line that used to run from Richmond, the Santa Fe Richmond Yard down to Oakland. And I just remember being excited at seeing the trains when I was a little kid. So, and that really, it's neat to see a younger generation feel that same excitement and know that that is going to imprint on them for life. They're going to, tell their parents, yeah, remember when we went to the Santa train and we got to meet, blah, 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 blah. That's really tops my tanks. And volunteering, once you start volunteering and you realize that you are contributing and making a difference in someone's life, you really are. It's very fulfilling.
Yep.
So speaking of fulfillment.
Oh, yes, sir.
Speaking of fulfillment and volunteering and all that stuff, I'd like to talk about what's coming up for the museum this year, since that seems to be the subject of this podcast.
Yeah.
And so we have several large projects going on, and by large I mean locomotives. The first one is very special to me because we use it in our rent a locomotive program, or RAL as we like to call it. And my son, who's now 25, when he was 10 years old, we ran the 2873, which is the Southern Pacific Jeep 9E. And it is now going to be probably one of the very last diesels painted in the SP/Santa Fe merger that didn't happen scheme, also known as Kodachrome.
Also known as SPSF, which is shouldn't paint so fast.
Paint so fast. Well,
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if that was the shouldn't paint locomotive.
Yes, that is the shouldn't paint so fast. But it's now that it's kind of nostalgic. I mean, if you think about it, the merger that was in the early to mid 1980s when that was proposed, and I think this may be the last Kodachrome painted locomotive. There were a couple of, I think there was one on the Trona, a SP tunnel motor. And I don't know of any others that still exist. So we have been in the process of painting it. The long hood is done. The cab and the short hood are still, they're in the touch up and primer stage. And then we've got to repaint the fuel tank and repaint the trucks and that sort of thing. So we're hoping to get that done probably in the spring or early summer. It is mechanically, it's in great shape. SP did a wonderful job rebuilding these when they went through the grip program. And so it runs really good. We put, I think we put injectors in it, traction motor brushes. I think we changed out a traction motor. And I know other members who are better informed than me will come back and say, well, we did this or that or the other. But it's almost ready to go back into the RAL program. And just because, and it hasn't yet, just because of cosmetics. So I'm actually, it's near and dear to my heart.
So, Mike, when you're repainting that, do you have to sandblast off all the rust and that kind of stuff, and then come back up from primer?
We don't tend to sandblast, mostly because the primer coats, we will just touch up where it needs to be touched up. Underneath, we'll sand down to good paint. We try not to sand down to bare metal if we don't have to, but we will if it needs it. If we see that the paint has broken down in places, if there's rust, we'll go down to bare metal and do primer and everything. We usually try and use Imron because it's so durable. It's Imron 2 now. It's more environmentally friendly than the old Imron, but it's still very, very durable. And so that engine, that's primary because we need to get more locomotives back into the RAL program. and that's probably first on the list. So look for that. I'm hoping that we roll it out late spring, early summer. We don't have we don't have a heated paint booth, so we have to wait until the weather warms up so that we can paint.
It's a little cold up there, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, there's snow on the ground. I'll be switching in the snow on Saturday. We have to switch some equipment out from the Santa trains, move some other stuff inside to finally button up for the wintertime. It's been fairly mild so far, but we know that February and March it can really hit hard, and so we're just getting ready to mothball everything for the winter.
Yeah, cool.
So that's one project. The next one that's we're hoping that we get this year completed is the 707, which is the Western Pacific GP7. That one, it has a few mechanical issues. We just replaced all 16 injectors on it, and we were ready to fill it up and fire it up. And we started filling it up with water, and it's got a couple of leaks on the prime mover. A couple of the power assemblies need new gaskets and that sort of thing. So that one we can actually work on in the wintertime a little bit, but not under freezing temperatures. What we do is in the wintertime, we drain all the water out of the locomotives, so that we don't crack anything if it goes below freezing. So right now, when we're ready we filled it up and it started to leak, and I was actually up there to film the initial startup of it, and that did not happen. So, but we're hoping that also in the spring, and I'll make a point that the more volunteers we have to come up and help us wrench on locomotives, the better, because right now we're down to, I think, 3 or 4 people that come up and regularly work on the locomotives to get them in shape. You don't have to know how. If you know how to turn a wrench, come on up. I mean, even if you don't, we'll teach you, because we're that kind of hands-on museum, and we're lucky in that the growth of the Reno, Sparks, Carson City area, we're starting to see an uptick in membership, and we have facilities at the museum so that if someone wants to come up and spend a few days there, we have the Edenwald, which is an ex-Via Rail sleeping car, and we have what we call the shower car and the crew lounge. So we have facilities there so people can stay and they don't have to go, book a motel down in Reno or something like that, which isn't terribly bad. It's about 40 minutes from downtown Reno to the museum, which most people are surprised to hear. But you go straight up 395 to Highway 70 and go west to Portola like I said, in about 40 minutes. I'm in South Reno, and it takes me an hour and 5 minutes to get to the museum. So it's not too bad. But we're always encouraging people to come up and see some history and help with this history, and it's a good group of people, a lot of really dedicated people, and a lot of fun, a lot of wise guys too.
We don't know anything about that down here.
Oh no, of course not.
Yeah, especially him. He doesn't know anything about that.
Not wise at all.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, maybe not wise guys, but maybe well, I won't say the smart guys. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, those guys.
Those guys. Yeah.
Guys. Wise guys.
Wise guys.
Wow, a bunch of wise guys, huh? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
wise guys, come up and let's run a locomotive. Or 2 or 4. Yeah, we can always use the help. So anyway, that's the 707. And lastly, and what I'm pretty excited about is, yes, the 805A. This is the very last Western Pacific locomotive that pulled the California Zephyr, FP7 805A, and it needs a new rebuilt control stand. And so this one, while getting the control stand in and out of the locomotive is relatively straightforward, it's about $5,000 to rebuild that control stand. So we're always looking for contributions. We're always looking for members and always looking for people who are interested in coming up to the museum. But, museums run on money. And that's one that we really are excited about, because once we get the control stand in and operational, the 805 will go into the rent-a-locomotive program. And so you'll be able to actually run it. And that has never happened before. It was essentially an excursion engine for us. We would only pull it out in special occasions. The picture you see there is the WP Historical Society convention in Sparks, and we had the chance. UP let us run it and the other engines down: the 2001 Jeep 20, the 707, and the 925 or 926 B unit. And we ran them, and I think that was about 15, 20 years ago. And we would love to get it back on the road and available, but that was the only thing it was used for. And so it's exciting to have it in the RAL program. So those are the things that we're looking at and hoping to accomplish, depending on manpower and money. There is one other thing. I can't say a whole lot about it, but there is a big event, and I emphasize big, coming in the middle of April, probably about April 13th or 14th. This big event has been at the museum before. And if you are a member of the Western Pacific Railway Museum, you will have special privileges related to this event. So I encourage the listeners and watchers and viewers to look into joining us in Portola. And we always encourage the support. We always love to have people come up who are interested and enthusiastic and check us out. I mean, yes, we seem kind of remote, and from places like the Bay Area, we are, and that's why we provide accommodations for people who want to, say, spend a week or, and we've had people come up in the summertime and spend a couple weeks working on their favorite project. And we've got plenty of projects for people to work on. So, like I said, if you're interested in seeing this big event happen, well, it is happening regardless. And hopefully details will come out from large yellow organizations in the near future. You should see it on the schedules. But mid-April, be aware that there is something happening at the museum, and we're all very excited about it.
All I'm going to say is, oh boy.
Oh boy. Indeed. So, the other slightly longer term projects and things that we need people who just can. They don't have to know how to paint a locomotive, but it's always important to keep things looking clean and looking nice. And we need people who can just paint, a wall, or help us spruce up the engine, the main building, and all kinds of other stuff. We have fencing that was donated to us, cyclone fencing, and we have the posts in place. And we have rolls of cyclone fencing. So if you like to get outdoors and work hard and everything, and make a difference, and it's a good workout, and out in the pine forest, we have fences that we need to put up, and all kinds of other projects as well.
And whitewash too.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
paint every day. But
Yeah. Let me tell you, I'll Tom Sawyer you if you want to. It's a lot of fun to paint that fence,
Look, he got really serious. He's getting all close to the camera now. Like, let's get this done.
I am one of those people. It's like, and I'm a cheerleader for the museum. I always have been, and since getting on the board of directors last year, I've become even more passionate about my favorite railroad. All I can ask is that y'all come up and see us sometime, and you come up and rent a locomotive, come up and join and help us with some projects. And we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, we'll leave the light on for you.
Oh yeah, you got that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, there's a lot going on up there, and I think that the WP. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's one of those kind of. I think of it as a smaller railroad just because it was not like, Southern Pacific or whatever, but there are so many people that really geek out on WP stuff and have really kept it alive. And having been to the museum, as a matter of fact, I should plug the video. We did a video with Ethan Doty up there a few years ago showing some stuff that's up there and, ran the locomotive. It was a lot of fun. And, I'm convinced that Ethan is probably more like 6'7", Mike, but he insists that he's 6'3". He's not 6'3". He's much taller than that.
Yeah.
That's what we should do is we should have a special event where people come to the museum and they guess Ethan's height, and whoever gets it right, wins something.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. That's the Sasquatch effect.
A bucket of paint.
A bucket of paint. Perfect.
We'll have so much fun.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to see all of you. And I hope to see you up at the museum soon.
Yeah, we'll talk offline about the event that we're really looking forward to and figure out something. There may be some coverage of that here on the channel. We'll see.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Guys take care and keep on training.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Okay. And that brings us up to my amazing presentation and information. And I'll try to be quick with this. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them into the chat. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I know people come in and out, and maybe some people have logged on since I mentioned it earlier. But this next thing that I want to talk about here has to do with some of the changes that are happening here at TSG Multimedia. So 2026. So I don't know if I've really talked about this online much, but every year toward the end of the year, I look at how things are going, what's happening, and I make changes that seem appropriate. And these are some of the changes that are happening here this year. So the first thing is we have a new release time. For probably the last almost 20 years, I've been releasing videos, feature content. So that would be, product spotlights and layout tours, chasing trains episodes, that kind of thing. They've always published at 9 a.m., either on Saturday or Friday or whatever day they come on. They almost always publish at 9 a.m. And I have an optimization tool that I use for YouTube that says, hey, you need to put these things out between 3 and 6 or something like that. So I've decided that I'm going to try releasing at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll see if that changes things. So far, I haven't noticed a huge difference, but we'll see what happens. So if you log on to YouTube at 9 looking for the content, just know that it will be coming out at 3 instead. Also, this is different. And, I should have kept Mike on maybe for this. We have podcast sponsorship opportunities. Now, this is something that's been ongoing. And as a matter of fact, two of the people that you've seen here, two of the organizations or however you want to put it, that you've seen here on the show today, Model Railroad Control Systems and the Western Pacific Railroad Museum, both are sponsors of the podcast. So if your organization or your company or your group or society or whatever would like to sponsor the podcast and get your name shown on this screen, well, we can make as many quadrants as we need to. And right now we have 4. As you can see, there's the bottom left, that's Seth's company, MRCS, and then the Western Pacific Western Pacific Railroad Museum in Portola on the top right. Podomatic sponsors, and of course the train crew on Patreon. I should mention that, the train crew on Patreon. We have a Patreon presence, and that allows people who aren't with companies or whatever to throw $2 or $5 or $10 at us every month to help us go places and cover some of these really cool things that you get to see here on the channel. And every little bit helps. So anyway, I wanted to mention that because, like I said, I can make this little screen that you see at the beginning of every podcast as many quadrants as we need to fill as many sponsors as would like to have their name show up on the podcast. So there's that. The podcast sponsorship opportunities that I just talked about. And now I just mentioned about Patreon a second ago. Patreon, part of your, I guess, benefit from being on Patreon, a supporter on Patreon, is you get to see almost all of the content that shows up on this channel weeks and sometimes even months before the general public gets to see it. And it's all in 4K, ultra high definition, which looks even better than what you see on regular YouTube. But the other thing is I've decided, and this started really in the middle of last year, but I've decided to not publish that stuff with the watermark anymore. And the watermark is that little TSG logo that shows up on the bottom right corner of every program. And I want to mention the watermark because it's something that I hate. I can't stand having the watermark on any of my content, but I was forced to do it because content thieves tend not to steal things when they have watermarks, and they tend to steal a lot of things that don't have watermarks. So in order to protect my property, I had to put the watermark on them. Well, Patreon viewers don't have to look at the watermark. So I don't know if you guys are both Patreon supporters. Have you noticed, or does it matter, or do you care that there's no watermark on those?
I hate to say this, but I'm a Patreon supporter, but I watch through YouTube because I have YouTube Pro or whatever.
Yeah.
And
So you get the watermark.
yeah, it's fine.
Have you noticed, Seth, if the watermark not being there on the Patreon stuff is beneficial at all?
I didn't notice it was there, and I didn't notice when it went away.
That's so funny because I've had people actually say that. Take the watermark off. It's too big, or make it smaller, or whatever.
Well,
So
I'll be pleased to be in a watermark-free environment.
And you are.
Yeah, there we are.
So here's another thing that I've been grappling with this now really for years. I started the Patreon thing almost 10 years ago. It was 2018. And one of the things that I thought when I started it was, well, if I could just get 1% of the subscribers to pitch in $2, 1% at the time would have been about, I don't know, 350 people. What is this? Dave has a TSG shaped. Oh boy. You know, this is why I like having these things open to the public for comments like this.
Just in case you didn't have enough wise guys on the panel.
Right?
Thanks, Dave. I needed that.
Yeah, we need that. Oh boy. Okay. Anyway, well, I mean, it seems that other people aren't noticing it much either. I'm just going to highlight a couple of these. So maybe because what I've done over the years was I've made it, less opaque so you can't see it as much, smaller so it's not as big in the corner, all those things. Anyway, I was on to the next thing, which was I thought that if I can get 1% of the subscribers to throw $2 at the channel, it would be enough to make a difference. Well, we never got that many. 1%. It's not even close to 1%. I'm not going to sit here and say how much it is, but it's not even close. It still makes a difference, but it doesn't make enough of a difference. or else I wouldn't have the, corporate sponsors on the podcast.
Well, don't you get the cool mug?
Not anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that went away. Well, so
Geez, I wouldn't do it now.
right. Thank you for your support. No,
Hey,
but,
I'm a sponsor.
right? Yeah, but seriously,
Ask him about the TSG wine glasses.
oh no, those were only for special people.
I know. You need to actually make them a thing.
Oh, but they're really expensive though. I don't know if people can afford to sponsor the
You'd be
channel for that
amazed.
much.
You think,
Yeah. But anyway, what I'm getting at is I'm wondering from the people who don't sponsor the channel, maybe you don't know this, but it's as cheap as $2 a month, which I make very little, and even I could afford that. So I'm trying to understand, like, what do we have to do differently to get more people to throw a couple bucks at it a month? Like, would it make a difference if I changed the tiers, meaning the amounts that you can do, or is it something that maybe something that I did originally was I was giving people these mugs, right? These TSG train crew mugs. We had T-shirts. We had all this stuff that we were giving away.
I
But
talked him out of the OnlyFans account, so you can thank me for that.
He talked me out of it because I was asking him to be on it. No, but anyway, but I was doing these, mugs and shirts and all this stuff. And it was kind of hard to what's the word for it? Admin, all that stuff.
Oh,
to
fulfillment. It's a big
yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's a big deal, right? So the question became, well, okay, so I ran a poll on the Patreon supporters. If you didn't get a mug, would you still have done this? And everyone said, yeah, we support the channel because we appreciate what you do,
Yeah.
not because we're getting free stuff out of it.
We're already getting free stuff.
Well, you're getting free content, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And I never really thought of it that way, but I think that's the point. And so I stopped doing the mugs and all that stuff. So I guess the question is,
Do you have a Teespring store or anything like that?
I used to have Teespring where people could go buy stuff, but I found that their service wasn't very good.
Oh.
And I'm working this year, I'm hoping, and this is one of those things where I'm just going to have to
Is
get
that on the list here?
the swag.
No, your TSG Multimedia, your presentation. Did I jump the gun?
No, it's not on the list.
You need
this
to
is
add it.
But this
Okay.
is the question, like what do we need to do on Patreon, or maybe just having another swag store that people could just go buy stuff?
Well,
Yeah.
what sort of swag do people like?
Well, maybe that's what we're really asking here.
I like
so
the mugs. I need to refresh hats every once in a while because mine get all fur laden.
okay, so why don't we do this? If you're watching this live, put a comment in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, put a comment in the comment sections, in the comment section, that tells us, like, what do you want to see? Because I'm actually really responsive to stuff when it makes sense, and so I'd love to know your input. Like, what would make you happy to see, to want to throw a few bucks at it? So there's that. That's the 1% question I was talking about earlier. How do we get more? How do we get up to 1%? Because Dave did the math on it earlier and said 1% is like 715 supporters. I can't find it now. Here it is. 71.5 subscribers. So 1% is 715. Well, how do we get to 715 Patreon supporters? I don't know. So if you have ideas about that, please post them to the comments, because I would love to have people's feedback. I mean, the people watching this are the people who, you're the market, right? So what would it take to have you join the Patreon crew is the question, right? What could we offer? And don't listen to Murph. We're not going to do OnlyFans. That's not going to happen.
Threaten them with a public radio style membership drive.
Oh, that would work. Yeah. Cut into the program every 5 minutes begging for money. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd drive everyone away.
Yeah, they'll stop watching. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so this is the final slide, which is, if you have ideas for this stuff, put comments, Well, this is another thing. I should mention this before I get to the real conclusion, which is to email ideas, which is the programs that we run on the show, on the channel, generally are model railroad layout tours, which are the most popular by far. We do events and places, like museums. We'll go to Portola and feature the Western Pacific Museum, for example. We'll do stuff at SBHRS when they have events. We'll do stuff at Niles Canyon Railway when they do things. Layout tours, like I've done Seth's layout. Do you have any other ideas for like types of content? I've done how-to stuff. We've done Model Railroading 101. And there's more of all that same kind of stuff in the works. But maybe there's something we haven't done. And you have an idea like, well, why haven't you done this, whatever this is? Let me know what your ideas are. Put a comment in the comment section, or, go to the email podcast@tsgmultimedia.com and let me know, because I'd love to hear from the viewers. So anyway, that's all I have to say about TSG for now. I'll probably think of something later when I'm falling asleep and go, oh, I forgot to talk about that. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, Murph, that you're working on, like for your layout? Or?
When working at SVL, we're basically going totally around the layout, reestablishing the LCC bus with pink Ethernet Cat5 cable. We had a problem many years back where somebody ran the cab bus for the NCEs with Ethernet cable, and then somebody plugged that into a network hub.
What?
And then smoke came out of the network hub. It was great.
Did they have a smoke unit?
No.
Did know.
So now everybody's going to know, do not plug the pink Ethernet into a network hub. So that'll be nice. Part of that's in prep. We've been doing a lot of work on the buses and putting in breakers and all sorts of things on the upper level, because it was considered dark territory. We have no detection on the upper level. We hope to put in signals as well. So everything's going to be running with LCC on that, because that's the direction the club decided to go several years ago when Dakota was working on things. So that's been kind of interesting. And that's about the point where my back went out crawling underneath the layout. And so I've had kind of a miserable December. My other plan for this upcoming year is finally to shoot some extra shots of this gorgeous caboose I got from Sparky when I won the raffle, and I'm really sorry to Sparky. We're going to get this going. John said he would help me out, and we'll put together a little pictorial of it, the caboose making its way to my layout. So, and then on my own layout, I want to get the mainline run actually like completed by half year point or something like that. Yeah. Hi, Sparky.
Yeah, he's been commenting the whole time. I'm surprised he hasn't been cursing you for not doing the caboose video.
He probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, on publicly.
That was really cool. Sparky had a, when he did his YouTube event thing, what was that, September? He had this gorgeous Rapido caboose. It's got graffiti on it and everything else. And I was like, wow, I really, really, really want that. So I did my normal, I really, really want that bid and got it. So,
you really, really got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thank him. I'm going to have fun running that on my layout.
Yeah. So we actually have sort of tentative plans, right? We're going to run it on Silicon Valley lines. We'll probably run it at SBHRS.
Yep.
We're going to hit this. He doesn't know yet, but we're going to hit this guy up to run it on his layout.
Absolutely.
Or maybe you do know.
Well,
now
I
you
didn't.
know.
Now I know. But
Yeah,
sure, why not?
Yeah.
So we're going to hit up Seth to run it on his layout. We're going to run it on Murph's layout. And really any HO scale layout we can find in the area that will let us run it on. Maybe Dave will let us, but you'll have to come to a op session for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To Loveless, right?
Yeah. Assuming my back gets better soon, I hope.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that. And let's see, anything else? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That seems to be it.
So Mac Wolf wants to know if we're going to talk about the UP 4014 running coast to coast. Well, that was only just announced, and they haven't really put out a lot of details about that. So I'm sure those details are forthcoming from UP Steam Department before too long. And since it's running coast to coast, I'm thinking that we'll probably see it someplace not too far from where we live. And that'll be really exciting because when it came out last time, it was in the middle of summer, and I went up to Railfan it when it went back, back eastward over Donner Pass, and they hit a tree trunk or something on the tracks on the way up, and it was delayed for hours and hours, and it was hot that day. So we were up there for a long time and just, baking in the heat.
Yeah, just because it's up in the mountains doesn't mean it's cool.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, especially in the summer.
So it seems part of it is, we can't talk a lot about that because not much has been announced. Everybody here probably knows as much as any one of us here.
Yep. Maybe more.
And the same thing is true with some of the events. There questions were coming up during the presentation. If you know somebody that actually is connected with Amherst and wants to talk about it, to have them contact John.
Yeah.
Really, it's a matter. We had the events we talked about today because we know people, or they contacted John for, hey, let's talk about this event that's coming up. So we are more than welcome to have more content that way.
Oh, absolutely.
From across the country.
Yeah. One of the funny things
Or the world.
Yeah, when you do a show like this, though, you can't cover everything, right? We'd be here all week, and he's already fallen asleep, so we can't do that.
It's just because I never quite woke up.
Yeah, I could tell when you were talking.
Thanks, John. I'm a dynamic speaker.
At least I didn't fill your head.
I almost nudged him today.
Yeah, we don't have any fun doing these shows. So anyway, it seems like the questions and the comments are petering out here. So I think we're petering out too. So why don't we just peter out together? And
As that Neil Young once said, it starts out slow and then it fizzles out altogether.
That could be a lot of things. So anyway, why don't we go now? I do want to thank you guys for coming once again. I had a great time as usual. It's a shame we can only do these once a month, but that's what the schedule allows for. And I do want to thank everybody for watching. And go to Patreon and sign up, be a Patreon member, and you can get in on some of the behind the scenes stuff. That's something else that we do that I didn't talk about, which is the Patreon members do get behind the scenes access, and we'll quite often tell them where we're going to be when we're going to be doing stuff, and people show up. It's pretty fun. So anyway, I guess that'll do it for now, and we'll catch everybody next time. Adios.
See y'all later.